Shut up and sit down.
Hello guys and welcome to the Boomstick Club here on YouTube. Today for the Cornerpost we're going to do a WWE Extreme Rules prediction show. Alright, so starting off we have on the pre-show Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin in a no disqualification match. Now there's a reason this is on the pre-shows because they've probably done about, 30 matches so far since Baron Corbin debuted on Monday Night Raw. Yeah, unfortunately Dolph Ziggler apparently has turned a corner and doesn't want to be a show-off anymore, so I'm going to back Dolph Ziggler for the win here just to see what they're going to do with him going forward. But do not be surprised if Baron Corbin walks away with the victory. But this is pre-show, so who knows really. And for this match, Matt has chosen Baron Corbin. So we're on two different ends of the scale right here. Next up is the United States Championship match, Kalisto versus Rusev. Now this does not have a stipulation in place. For me, do not be surprised if Rusev wins. That's going to be my pick. Kalisto's had a good run as champion, but hasn't had any memorable matches. It's been against Ryback a few times. So, yeah, he's really done nothing with the championship so far, and I can see them building Rusev back up again from the ground. So, do not be surprised if he wins, and as I say, Rusev is my pick for this match. For this match, Matt has chosen Kalisto to retain the championship. Once again, add a bit of odds there. I like this. Now we move on to the WWE Tag Team Championship match, The New Day versus the Vaudevillains. Once again, no stipulation in this match. That may be added when the pay-per-view comes around. It might be added on the pre-show. Who actually knows? For me, I think the New Day are going to retain, only for the simple fact of they're building other tag teams up at the moment. I don't know whether the Vaudevillains were meant to be in this match, but obviously with the injury to Enzo, unfortunately, that has put the Vaudevillains in, but they haven't got a crowded reaction yet behind the Vaudevillains. They appeared on the UK version of Raw when that was after WrestleMania, and they did not get a reaction. No boos, no cheers, no nothing. Whereas as soon as Enzo and Big Kaz came out, holy shit, the crowd erupted. So yeah, my pick is The New Day. In this match, Matt has backed The New Day. Pretty much the same as me for that one. Now, for one of the most interesting matches on this pay-per-view, it is the Usos versus Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, the Club. And it's going to be a tag team tornado match. This one's going to be very, very interesting, I think. There has been a bit of a feud building between the Bloodline, including Roman Reigns with the Usos, against the Club, which is AJ Styles and Anderson and Gallows. Now, they haven't actually given a name specific to each little faction so far because I don't think the Bloodline's going to last. I really, really don't. The Usos at the moment are not getting any kind of reaction. They're basically just getting booed. The fans don't like them, so this isn't going to work really. And tagging onto Roman Reigns, which the crowd just doesn't get behind, isn't going to sit well for the Usos. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson made a nice little impact. They've got some awesome moves. Being New Japan Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions themselves, you can see the chemistry that they've got straight away. They're big, they're bad, they've got an awesome look. So for me, I'm going to back Gallows and Anderson for the win in this Tornado tag match. So for this next one, Matt has backed the Club the same as me, Gallows and Anderson for the win. Now, this next match is going to be very, very interesting, I think. Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho in the first ever Asylum match. Now, the cage was lowered on Monday Night Raw, and oh my god, it looked awesome. It's basically just your normal steel cage match, but up on top are all these different weapons. If you think of the TNA steel cage matches, where they would have each entrant enter at a certain time, so after, say, 90 seconds, two different teams would have different entrants coming in, and then once all the entrants were in, the top of the cage would be lowered and would be all full of weapons. So that match was absolutely awesome in TNA. It really, really worked for a lot of their pay-per-views on lockdown. So I think this is going to be the same kind of match. Although, mind you, the weapons are going to be available from day dot. I'm really, really keen to see this match. I think it's a nice little change for Jericho and Ambrose, who have fought a few times. Nothing really extravagant, nothing really, top class, but they've got the job done. So to add a little bit of a different feel, and it's also giving Ambrose an avenue to show what he used to do before WWE. I know they're not going to go as hardcore as what they used to, but this is something that's really, really going to grab the attention of the crowd, and I think they're going to be right in behind it. For me, this is an Ambrose Asylum match, so you've got to go with Dean Ambrose. So in this one, Matt has backed my boy, Chris Jericho. I've always been a big fan of Jericho. So yeah, Matt's picked Chris Jericho for this one. This next match is going to steal the show, I have no doubt. It's the Intercontinental Championship match, The Miz versus Kevin Owens versus Cesaro versus Sami Zayn. It's a fatal four-way match, so basically the first person to pick up the pinfall will win the title. The rivalry between Owens and Cesaro and Zayn and The Miz, absolutely incredible. They've done a really good build-up to this. I don't think The Miz should be a champion. I really think it should have still stayed as Zack Ryder. But The Miz brings something completely different to what these indie guys have to offer, basically. So The Miz is your typical WWE superstar. He is your basic bad guy for WWE. Kevin Owens is your typical old school bad guy where everybody just hates him. And Cesaro and Zayn are just absolutely awesome. As a combination, this match is going to work really, really well, I hope. I've got fingers crossed. For me, the winner of the match is going to be Kevin Owens. I'm going to go a bit of a dark horse here. I think there's far more to do with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in the future, but I really think the title might go back to Kevin Owens at this stage, so I'm going to stick with KO. So once again, we're at odds on this one. Matt has backed Cesaro to take out the Fatal 4-Way match and become the next Intercontinental Champion. Up next will be the WWE Women's Championship match, Charlotte versus Natalya in a submission-only match, with Ric Flair actually banned from ringside. This is going to be very, very interesting, I think. It's nice to see a women's match on a card with a stipulation in it that two women do really, really have good submission moves for. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they do going forward with this. It's a very hard one to pick. Natalya and Charlotte had a great match in NXT. They've also had a great match at the last pay-per-view on Payback. But obviously with the Ric Flair involvement, that changes everything. And everyone's been talking for ages now that Ric Flair shouldn't be with Charlotte because she is a better star by herself. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they mould this match going forward. But for me, I think Charlotte is going to retain the championship. On this one, Matt has backed the same as me. We're both gone with Charlotte. Alright, last but not least is the main event match. Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And it's going to be an Extreme Rules match. Anything goes. So I have no doubt we're going to see the Usos and the club actually come into this match somewhere down the line. We may also see a debut of a superstar who everyone's been salivating for. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they may do going forward. This match is... I don't think it's going to steal the card, in my opinion. I still think the Intercontinental Championship match is going to steal the card. At the moment, though, AJ Styles is helping Roman Reigns be good. AJ Styles brings a lot to the table in regards to athleticism, wrestling ability, working a crowd, all the typical stuff that you can do, older school stuff, which a lot of the old guys like to teach. AJ Styles has. He knows how to do. And he's helping Roman Reigns become a better champion. Roman Reigns is still boring as all hell. He hasn't got it yet. He likes to think that, he's not a good guy, not a bad guy. He's the guy, but that's a very, very boring thing to be. This is sort of showing a different side, the build-up to this match. It's showing that Roman Reigns possibly is a bit of a bad guy, rather than being this in-between kind of sit, but we don't really know yet. So, at this stage, the club and AJ Styles has been booked as bad guys, but the crowd are cheering for them at the moment. They're booing Roman Reigns and the Usos, so it's a very hard way to sort of pick if Roman Reigns is heading down the path of being bad or not. We don't really know, so... for me, for this match, as much as I don't want to say it, I think Roman Reigns is going to retain, only because the AJ Styles and the club storyline has not taken off yet. So I really think there's a lot more to be involved with that. I don't know whether AJ Styles is going to be a champion with that. So as much as I'd like to pick him, I'm going to stick with Roman Reigns for this one. And last but not least, he has backed Roman Reigns with me to retain the championship and the build-up for the club to continue. And that is it for the prediction show, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you hit us up online with your predictions at Boomstick on Twitter and also at Serial Games on Twitter. Thanks very much for tuning in, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.
Shut up and sit down.